All right, so you should have taken a little break. That was a lot, okay? So now we're gonna finish the second page on number 10. So the first thing they wanted you to do, they wanted you to add three numbers. You had to add 335 plus 108 plus 12. But then they want you to subtract something, okay? So when we look over in our ones place, we know 8 plus 2 equals 10. And 10 plus 5 equals 15. Remember, we put down the 5 and we carry the 1. 3 plus 1 equals 4. 4 plus 1 equals 5. Then we're moving on over to the hundreds place. And we have 3 plus 1. And 3 plus 1 equals 4. So you should have gotten 455 to start with. But then they want you to subtract 600 from 455. 600 minus 455. Oh my goodness, this is kind of like the problems we just talked about. There's more on the floor, right? But when we go next door, we can't get 10 more. Do you remember what we do? If you box the 60, what can you turn the 60 into? You can turn it into a 59. And then we turn that 0 into a 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So you should have gotten 145. All right, we are almost done. Moving on to number 11. It says find 283 plus 45. That's our first step. 3 plus 5 equals 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. You should have gotten 328. But then it wants you to subtract 139. So we always ask ourselves the question, and I'm sure you're sick of me saying it, but I hope you're saying it, because I will never get sick of hearing it, because I know you're really thinking more on the top or more on the floor. There's more on the floor. So we have to go next door and get 10 more. The 2 turns into a 1. The 8 turns into an 18. 18 minus 9 equals 9. Then we go over to the tens place. More on the top or more on the floor? There's more on the floor. So again, we have to go next door and get 10 more. The 3 turns into a 2. And the 1 turns into an 11, right? So now we have 11 minus 3, which equals what? 8. And then 2 minus 1 equals 1. So you should have gotten 189. Now on number 12, all you needed to do was solve it. 316 minus 226. Ooh, 6 minus 6. Do you remember that saying? Numbers the same, zero's the game. Now we go over to the tens. More on the top or more on the floor? More on the floor, so we have to go next door and get 10 more. Okay, so we have 11 minus 2. What did you get? 9. And 2 minus 2 equals 0. So you should have gotten 90. Okay? And if we look at number 13, same thing. I just wanted you to find the difference. 254 minus 125. More on the top or more on the floor? They like to do more on the floor. They want you to go next door and get 10 more. The 5 turns into a 4. The 4 turns into a 15. So 14 minus 5 equals 9. 4 minus 2 equals 2. And 2 minus 1 equals 1. You should have gotten 129. You could have written it down here too. If not, that's fine. Oh, we're almost done. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 15. What's the difference between 408 plus 240 and 259? Well, I know difference means to subtract, but the first thing we need to do is we need to solve 408 plus 240. And this is one we should be able to do pretty quickly. 8 plus 0 equals 8. 0 plus 4 equals 4. And 4 plus 2 equals 6, right? So you should have gotten 648. And then we need to subtract. So we're putting 648 on the top, and we are subtracting that from 259. So, more on the top or more on the floor? Well, we know it, more on the floor. So we're going to go next door and get 10 more. The 4 turns into a 3. The 8 turns into an 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. Again, we have more on the floor, so we have to go next door. The 6 turns into a 5. The 3 turns into a 13. And 13 minus 5 equals 8. And 5 minus 2 equals 3. You should have gotten 389. So, the next one, it wants to know how many times do you have to regroup? So remember, anytime we're crossing out and changing numbers, we are regrouping. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. There's more on the top or more on the floor? There's more on the floor, so we have to go next door. We're regrouping, right? We're going to turn that 3 into a 2 and that 7 into a 17. So then 17 minus 9 equals what? 8. And then we have 2 minus 3. Can we do that? There's more on the floor. So we have to regroup again and go next door. The 7 turns into a 6. And the 2 turns into a 12. Okay, so we have 12 minus 3. 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So we've got our answer, which they didn't even really need. We got 98 for our answer, but how many times did we regroup? How many times did we have to change the number and add tens to it? Because here we have 3 times, but we only had to change and add tens 2 times. So you should have gotten 2 for the regrouping. Okay? So at this point, I hope you know how to stack and you know how to subtract and ask those questions. So I'm gonna quickly go through the last 2 because you have been so patient. You should have gotten 119 for number 17. And if you solve 332 minus 246, you should have gotten what? You should have gotten 86. Okay? So I know that was long and I hope it was helpful. If you are stuck on any problems, have mom and dad help you. If you're still stuck, let me know so that I can help you. Okay? All right. Good job. I'm so proud of you. You are great mathematicians. And you know what? My brain is a little bit mushy too, and that's why we have to take our time sometimes, because even I was rushing and making silly mistakes. All right. See you later. Bye.